Hello and welcome back to another episode of Manic Mondays, the weekly show where I play and talk about whatever I feel like. I want to preface this with saying I apologize for my voice. I have come down with a cold, but that doesn't stop the grind. So here we are, baby. This week I want to talk about I Am Your Beast. This game was developed by Strange Scaffold, which is an indie developer based in El Paso, Texas. This game is still a fairly new release, having just dropped back in September of 2024. And in this game, you play as an ex-COI agent named Alphonse Harding. Alphonse moved to a secluded forest where he planned to leave behind the trappings of his life as an agent. However, his general does not agree with this move and instead begins sending an army of agents after Harding in an effort to wrangle him back up. I had a great time with this, honestly. It's an FPS that's all about time trials. Each level has a set time limit and ranking system associated with it that makes the game exciting, fast-paced, and super replayable. And personally, I'm a sucker for the one last job trope, which this game hits on the head.
I'm not taking the job.
Going into this blind, I had no idea what to expect, but the story definitely held my attention and kept me playing for the entire duration. So this is easily a 5 out of 5 for me. All the way up to the end, the story was the perfect backdrop to the chaos and hectic gunplay you get to experience as Harding. And on that note, let's dive deep into the gameplay.
I'm going to use your guns and your tech to kill every agent you sent into this forest.
So each level you begin unarmed or with a weapon that has no ammo left in it. You have to acquire guns and melee weapons either from the environment or through enemies, and you can do this in a variety of ways, either picking them up, throwing them at other enemies, catching their weapons out of the air, etc. Upon death, the enemy operatives actually launch their guns toward you, which can easily be snatched from the air and immediately used to dispose of more of the agents. You can sprint, climb, free run, and slide through the level, trying to get the best possible score. And most levels, like I said before, are time-based, but there are a few that are wave-based, so you are trying to get the highest score possible out of the types of ways you're killing these agents. So for example, explosion kills or headshots or melee kills, they all give you a certain amount of points in this mode, and your goal is simply just to get the highest score possible. So overall, I would say due to the fluidity, the fast-paced nature, and creative structure, the gameplay is an easy 5 out of 5 for me. Again, I didn't find myself bored one moment. There was no downtime. You're constantly moving, you're constantly trying to stay alive, and you're constantly trying to, dispense of as many agents as possible and get to the end of the level. So it was an easy 5 out of 5 for me. When it comes to the graphics and performance, this game is a true standout in my opinion. You have the cel-shaded comic book style combined with the insanely fast movement and opportunistic pathing that makes for such visually captivating gameplay. With all the chaos and death happening, I was thoroughly pleased with how this game maintained such fluid performance from beginning to end, especially in today's age where many games will fluctuate based on a multitude of factors. So with all of that in mind, this puts the graphics and performance at a 5 out of 5 for me as well. Again, such a beautiful and exciting game, there's no question. This brings us to depth. While I truly enjoyed the story, and as I mentioned before, absolutely loved the tropes, there isn't much depth here, if I'm honest. You get enough backstory to understand who you are and why you're being hunted, but it doesn't get much deeper than that. You never learn too much about Harding or about the operations he was forced to complete, which led him to abandon the COI in the first place. While I would have liked to learn more and get a better idea of the calculated killer that I was controlling, this fell a bit short of that mark for me, so I would give the depth about a 3 out of 5. Again, it's not meant to be the most lore-heavy, deep experience, but I would have liked a little bit more in that department. Finally, there is the replayability factor. This game thrives on being played multiple times. In fact, they encourage replayability so much that you have a quick restart option that allows you to start a level over without even entering a menu. With this game's primary focus being how fast can I kill this group of operatives, this is a paramount feature to the experience. I found myself replaying the same level multiple times with excitement, either to try and accomplish bonus goals or just to beat my previous time. I even beat the first level 7 times before I actually moved on to the second level just because I was trying to get that 10-second score that it requires to get an S rank. In fact, once I'm done recording this, I'm actually going to dive back in and play some more. I'm trying to get the S rank in all the levels so that I can get that achievement, and it doesn't even feel like a chore or a task to me. It's just fun, exciting gameplay that I'm happy to just sink time into. So with that being said, obviously the replayability for me gets a 5 out of 5, a perfect score. It hits the mark, it does exactly what it sets out to do, and it never feels like a slog, and you never feel like you have to do anything. Overall, as I've said quite a few times now, I really loved my time with I Am Your Beast. The only thing that I wanted from this was more backstory, but it isn't that type of game, and it's not trying to be anything that it isn't. So for everything that it aimed to do, this game really knocked it out of the park, and definitely turned me into a fan of Strange Scaffold. Calculating the score across the 5 categories, I'm happy to give this game a 4.6 out of 5. This is a game that I recommend to anyone who is a fan of FPS games, time trials, or any arcade-style shooters. It's really the perfect way to kill a few hours and just find yourself wanting to come back for more. If you made it to the end of this review, I want to give you my wholehearted thanks and appreciation. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more content like this, please leave a like and hit the subscribe button. Every Monday I release some variation of whatever I'm feeling, and I've been digging the review route so far, so I'd be happy to keep it up. Regardless, once again, I thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.